Welcome back to the Mastering the Key series. We'll learn how to master every key on the piano. Whether you're a music producer, a songwriter, or just looking to improve your musical skills, being able to play in every key is important because it allows you better control over the sounds and emotions that you can create with your music. I've heard from many people that they believe that each major and minor key have their own feelings and emotions that are associated with them, so let me know what you feel from this one down in the comments below. Now, the last minor key that we looked at was G minor, so let's travel down our circle of fifths to the next stop at C minor. First, let's take a look at the key signature. C minor is the relative minor key to E flat major. This means that the two keys will share the same key signature. Like in E flat major, this key has 3 flats in the key signature. By following our order of flats, we'll know that the first 2 flats are B flat and E flat, and now we'll add the next flat in the series, A flat. And now let's talk about the notes that make up our key. Since the key is C minor, the root note of the scale is also C. To find the notes in a minor scale, we will start on a root note and use the minor scale step pattern of whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, and whole step. Following this pattern gives us the notes C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, and then back to C. Now let's hop over to the piano and talk about how to play the C minor scale. The C minor scale follows the same pattern as the C major scale, just with some added black keys in the mix. So starting off with our right hand, our thumb, or finger number 1, we'll start on C, and we'll play the notes C with 1, D with 2, and E flat with 3. Then shift up your hand so that finger 1 plays F, then play G with 2, then play A flat with 3, and B flat with 4, and then land on C with finger 5. Then we'll head back down by playing B flat with 4, A flat with 3, G with 2, and F with finger 1. Then shift your hand down so that you play E flat with 3, D with 2, and land home on C with finger 1. Again, those finger numbers are 1, 2, 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then back down to 4, 3, 2, 1, shift, 3, 2, 1. Now practice that scale pattern slowly until you can do it 3 times in a row without mistakes. Then you can slowly work on speeding it up. Once you feel comfortable with that right hand, we can move on to the left hand. So we'll start with finger 5, the pinky, on C, and we'll play C with 5, D with 4, E flat with 3, F with 2, and then G with 1. Then we'll shift up so that you play A flat with finger 3, B flat with finger 2, and land on C with finger 1. Then head back down playing B flat with 2, then A flat with 3. Now shift the hand down so that you play G with 1, F with 2, E flat with 3, D with 4, and land home on C with finger 5. Again, those finger numbers are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shift, 3, 2, 1. Then head back down on 2, 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Be sure you practice those shifts slowly and methodically so you can do them without having to look at your hands every time they shift position. Now once you can play that left hand without mistakes, we'll try putting them both together. So let's set up our hands with 5 on C in the left hand and 1 on C in the right hand, and we'll play C, D, E flat, then the right hand will shift up to F, then play G, and now the left hand shifts up to A flat, then play B flat, and finally C. Now head back down to B flat, then A flat, and now shift the left hand down to G, then play F, now the right hand shifts down to E flat, then play D, and finally land home on C. Now let's run that scale one more time, but a little bit slower. We'll play C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, and C. Then back down to B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat, D, and then C. If you're following along with the video on your own, great work on those scales. Once you feel comfortable with them, we can move on to the arpeggios. Arpeggios are just runs that play the root, the third, and the fifth notes of the scale. In the key of C minor, these notes will be C, E flat, and G. For these arpeggios, we'll use our 1, 2, 3, and 5 finger pattern. Looking first at the right hand, we'll start with finger 1 on C, and we'll play C with 1, then we'll play E flat with 2, and G with 3. Then shift your hand up to play the next C an octave up with finger 1, then play E flat with 2, and G with 3. Then stretch that pinky all the way up to play that next C an octave up with finger 5. Then head back down playing G with 3, E flat with 2, and C with 1. Then shift down playing the next G with finger 3, E flat with 2, and land back home on C with 1. Again, those finger numbers are 1, 2, 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 5. And back down on 3, 2, 1, shift, 3, 2, 1. The left hand plays the same notes, but it uses a different fingering. So we'll start with finger 5 on C, then hit E flat with 3, G with 2, and use 1 on the next C an octave up. Then shift your hand up to play the next E flat with finger 3, G with 2, and reach up to play C with finger 1. Then back down to G with 2, E flat with 3, and then shift down to have finger 1 on the next C, then G with 2, E flat with finger 3, and land home on C with finger 5. Again, those finger numbers for the left hand arpeggio are 5, 3, 2, 1, shift, 3, 2, 1. Then back down on 2, 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 5. Now we can practice each hand separately very slowly until you stop making mistakes, then try putting them together. Playing both hands together looks like this. If you're following along with this video on your own piano, awesome job with those. I think that it gets easier from here on out, so stick with it just a little bit longer. And now we can talk about the C minor chord progression. We go through and play the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord progression because these are the most common chords in pretty much any piece of music or any song that you'll want to learn or to write. With just these 3 chords, you can very easily make your own music. Now in a minor key, the 1 chord and the 4 chords have a minor quality, so you'll see that lowercase Roman numeral under them to show that. Even though we're in a minor key, we'll still use a major 5 chord, even though that third interval of the major 5 chord is not actually in that minor key signature. Typically, when we play in a minor key, we'll play a major 5 chord instead of a minor 5 chord. There are actual legitimate music theory reasons why we do this, but they mostly boil down to, it sounds nice, so that's just how we're going to do it. If you want to dive deeper into why that actually is though, be sure to check out my Intro to Music Theory playlist that's pinned down in the comments below. So the minor 1 chord of C minor is spelled C, E flat, and G. The minor 4 chord, which is F minor, is spelled F, A flat, and C. And the 5-7 chord in the key of C minor is a G7 chord, which is spelled G, B natural, D, and F. For the sake of making this chord progression easier to play, we're going to invert that minor 4 chord to its second inversion, which means the chord is going to be stacked on the second note above the root of the chord, which will make the minor 4 chord be spelled C, F, and A flat. And we're also going to invert that 5-7 chord to its first inversion, meaning we're going to stack this chord starting on the first note above the root of the chord. We're also going to eliminate the 5th interval of the chord, which will leave us with a triad, which gives us the notes B natural, F, and G. Now our chord progression will go minor 1, minor 4, back to minor 1, 5-7, and end on minor 1. So to start off, we're going to play that C minor chord in its root position. Then we're going to play the 4 chord, F minor, in its second inversion, spelled C, F, and A flat. Then we'll go back to C minor. Then we're going to play that G7 chord in its first inversion, but without the fifth of the chord, giving us B natural, F, and G. And finally, we're going to end on a C minor chord in root position. Playing all of our chords back to back in order will look like this. Now, great job making it through those. There's just one last thing to talk about before truly mastering the key of C minor, and that's the inversions. These are just different ways of stacking the C minor chord. Starting in the right hand, we'll play a C minor chord with the notes C, E flat, and G using our classic 1, 3, and 5 finger pattern. Then we'll move up so that finger 1 is on E flat, and we'll play the first inversion of the C minor chord, which is spelled E flat, G, and C, with finger numbers 1, 2, and 5. Then we'll move the right hand up again so that finger 1 is on G, and play the second inversion of the C minor chord starting on G, which is spelled G, C, and E flat, and we'll play that with finger numbers 1, 3, and 5. And finally, we'll play that C minor chord in its root position but an octave up with our classic 1, 3, and 5 fingering. Moving over to the left hand, our notes are the same, but we'll use different fingers. We'll play that root C minor chord with fingers 5, 3, and 1 on C, E flat, and G. Then we'll shift up, putting finger 5 on E flat, and we'll play the first inversion, which is spelled E flat, G, and C, with fingers 5, 3, and 1 again. Then we'll move up, putting finger 5 on G, and play the second inversion of the C minor chord, which is spelled G, C, and E flat, using finger numbers 5, 2, and 1. And finally, we'll move up one last time to play that root C minor chord with fingers 5, 3, and 1. Be sure to practice each hand slowly, and then try putting them together, which will look like this. Now, great job making it through those. Like all the other parts of this process, be sure to go slow before you try to grow. The hardest part of learning the piano, in my personal opinion, is giving yourself the grace that you need to allow yourself to be purposefully bad for a little while when you're first learning something. It's always alright if you don't nail something on the first try. Just be sure to let yourself learn to enjoy the process of growing in your new skills. Now let's put together everything that we've learned so far. We'll do the scale, the arpeggio, the chords, and then the inversions. Now, congratulations on mastering the key of C minor. It's a very versatile key, and if used correctly, it can be a very powerful tool in your musical arsenal. If you found this video helpful, please help out the channel by giving this video a like, and subscribe if you aren't already. Now, thanks for watching, and be sure and stay tuned for our next video.